So welcome to the demonstration of MYOB Advanced. What I'm going to do is just take you through a couple of high-level points on the solution just to get you a little bit familiar with how it works, point out a couple of things that make MYOB Advanced very, very different, and then hopefully by the end of the demonstration you will have seen enough to know that this is the kind of solution that you want to take a deeper look at, a closer look at. And then at the end of today's presentation I'll explain to you how you can do just that. So the first thing you'll notice about MYOB Advanced is it is 100% browser based. Now there's different ways that you can take pieces of software, the same old software that you're using today, and you can make it run in a web browser, all right? But that's not the same as being browser based, all right? You can take, without getting overly technical, you can take any application, any Windows-based application, run it on Microsoft terminal services or remote desktop services they call it now, or Citrix. And you can use some jiggery pokery, that's the technical term, to get that to run inside a web browser. But as I go through today's presentation, I'm going to show you some of the things that really make working in a web browser so much better and so much easier, and really help you understand the difference between a product that has been built for the cloud and a product that I've heard some analysts refer to as being cloud washed. So that's, a product that they try and make it look like it's works in the cloud, but it doesn't really quite cut it. So the first thing that you're going to see with MYOB Advanced is that it works with any web browser, any HTML5 compatible web browser, and that's pretty much every single one. Whether it's what I'm using now, Google Chrome, or it's Microsoft Edge, the very latest one that comes with Windows 10, or if it's Opera or Firefox, whether you're running on the Mac, whether you're running on Linux, whether you're running on a Surface device, whatever the case may be, as long as it's HTML5 compliant, you're good to go. So all your people need to be able to access MYOB Advanced is when you become a customer, you get your own URL that everybody uses to get to the system. Now this is a demo server that we have access to, all right, and you'll see this is just the URL up the top. Now I'm going to hit the refresh button just so you see this screen will reload, all right, and I use Norton Security, and it remembers my usernames and password. So it's just remembered my username and password, and it's popping it in here. Now, important point to note. See here, this is HTTPS up the top. That means that this session is actually protected with a digital certificate. So this is exactly the same level of security that your electronic banking uses. All right, so that basically makes sure that all of the information that goes between your computer and the server is private, and you can see your connection to the site is private, so it's encrypting all of that data, and you can go in here and you can see all the technical details about how that encryption is done. The thing to remember is to break this encryption code takes the world's most powerful computer at the moment still about 2 days to break a 2048-bit SSL encrypted data stream. So what does all that mean if you throw all the jargon to one side? I'm not necessarily sure that most of us have got data that's really going to require somebody to have the access to that level of computing power in order for them to want to break your security. That's usually reserved for government departments and so on and so forth. So anyway, hopefully you get the point. So you put in your username and password. Now, MYOB Advanced is multi-company. So one of the things that you can do is if you've got multiple companies that you're accessing, you'll also get an additional field here where it asks you for the username, password, and then the company that you want to work in. My demo system right now is just a single company, so all I'm going to do here is choose sign in. But of course, if you have forgotten your credentials, you'll see there's this little click box here. You can say forgot your credentials, and like any good web based system, it will ask you to validate who you are, and then it'll send you a reset of your password. Now you'll see this is the MYOB splash screen, and you'll see it's telling you, hey, this is MYOB technology, but also components are part of the Acumatica system, and that's what I was what I was talking about, and what I'm going to talk about a little bit more after this demonstration about the underlying platform for MYOB Advanced. So I'll hit the sign in button, and then what it's now doing is it's basically going ahead and it's saying, all right, who are you? So I am currently, with my username rduffy, I'm configured as an administrator. So that gives me full access right throughout the entire system. But what I've said is, when I come into the system, I want to get a dashboard. So the key thing with this is MYOB Advanced is completely role-based. What does that mean? Well, you decide what are the tasks that you have to do as part of your role. And then what you can do is you can create one of these dashboards that's made up of these different areas here, which are called widgets, which are a combination of graphs and key performance indicator representations. It also has what we call generic inquiries that pull data out and give me a summary of that data. But it also gives me the ability to go in and select specific records from one of these widgets, or it even has these widgets that give me a quick way of accessing the functionality in the software. So you'll see this is my admin dashboard, but for example, I can go to my time and expenses dashboard and I see a different view. So I've got my ability to enter my web-based timesheets, I've got my ability here to enter my expense reports and so on. Or if I'm a salesperson, I might want to go to my sales dashboard. And when I look at my sales dashboard, that looks completely different because I've got a completely different set of tasks that I want to work with. All right, and now the great thing about this is, assuming you have the rights, you can design your own dashboard. So what you can do is you can go over here and you can click on the design button and you can copy different dashboard widgets into your dashboard or whatever the case may be. There's even dashboard templates that are created here. For example, a cash register or an inventory management dashboard. And you'll see here's an example of one of those widgets that I can just take this and I can put it into my company dashboard. All right, so if I want to go into my shipping dashboard, for example, and I look at this shipping dashboard, what it's going to do is it's going to go and it's going to pull all of these different widgets that I have selected, and it's going to drop them into my shipping dashboard. So there you see, there is those inventory links as one of the widgets in my dashboard. So it makes it very, very easy for you to tailor the system completely to meet your requirements. And you know what? You can still access the menu system. For example, each of those suites that I was telling you about, you can access them from up the top here. You know, finance, distribution. Then when you go into each one of these areas, if you're in your organization, for example, you've got your project accounting, you can access the system through there, or you can completely ignore that. You can hide the menu on the side and you can just drive the entire system from your own personalized dashboard. Now, one of the things that makes a true web-based system is that you'll see this option, receive inventory items, for example. Actually, I'm going to give you a different example. Let's go back into our company dashboards. Let's go to our sales dashboard, because sales transactions are always much more exciting because it's all about generating revenue. So I'm going to minimize that. All right, so that gets that out of the way. Of course, I can always go back to it any time just by clicking on this little button here on the side. And guess what? I'm actually using a touch screen right now. So I can use my finger and I can use the touch screen. You'll notice I'll move the mouse across here. It won't go anywhere. I'm just going to use my finger to open up and close down the system. So it's really designed so that you can use touch-based devices as well. But anyway, you'll see when I am hovering over this option, enter sales leads, one of the areas in a web browser is down here, down the bottom. It's called the status bar. When I hover over this function, see down in the status bar, it actually tells you the name of the screen. So here's the great thing with MYOB Advanced. If I, for example, click on Enter Sales Leads and I open up my Enter Sales Leads screen, here's the thing. I can now share this data with anybody that I want as long as they have access to the system. I'll give you an example. I'm going to navigate through the records. I'm going to call up an existing record. So we just use these video buttons to go to the first record, the last record, and so on. So here's a new lead that I've got. And let's say I might want to share this with somebody. Well, the great thing about MYOB Advanced is I just go over here to help and I say get link. All right. Then I grab this external link here and I copy it. And all I have to do now is send that to somebody. I can send it to them via email. I can go into my Microsoft Outlook and I can paste it in there. Or built into MYOB Advanced, there is a mail system which just links into your Exchange system or whatever your backend SMTP mail gateway is. Great integration with Office 365, so all of that's available for you. I mean, I can just go here on send and it opens up that email activity function. And what this does, this then embeds that link into the email and it saves it as an activity against this particular lead. So that's the CRM functionality that you see kicking in. Now, you won't see a specific module called CRM. Why is that? Because CRM's right throughout the entire application. It is truly fully integrated, and that's what you should expect from any ERP system today, is that the CRM is fully integrated. It's not another product from somebody else that you have to try and glue it together with some piece of middleware. No matter how good that middleware is, it always adds an additional layer of administration. So you want to try and avoid that wherever you can. But that integration is just there as a standard part of the system. So then I'm going to leave that page and there's my link. So I'm just going to select it again. So I'm going to say copy. Now here's the thing, once I've got that URL, I can use that anywhere. So for example, let's say I have a Word document. So let me go in here and I'm just going to start up Microsoft Word. So there it is, Word 2013. And I'm going to open up a blank document. And then I can go here and I can paste that link into Microsoft Word. Now, then what I can do is that's now a URL inside the document. So I'm going to be a little bit more detailed here than I was planning on, but I think it's a good idea just to show you, what this web-based functionality is all about. I'm going to go back here to my MYOB Advanced system, all right, just to show you there's no smoke and mirrors here. I am going to go ahead and I am going to close that down. And I'm going to close this screen down as well. And I will close that screen down. Oh, by the way, I publish a regular newsletter that you might want to subscribe to that shares information about Cloud ERP and MYOB Advanced. But anyway, that's a side point. So now here is my document. All I need to do now is if I go Control and I click on that link, what you'll see happen is the system automatically asks me for my credentials. So I put in my username. And then I'm going to put in my password as well. Okay, because it's all secured. And then I'll hit OK. And what you'll see will happen is it automatically opens up my web browser. Not only does it take me to that screen, but it actually takes me to that specific link. Okay, so that's the difference between a product that is built for the web versus something that just uses one of those cloud washing techniques to be able to run it in a browser. So be very, very specific when you're looking at solutions. Make sure that it is truly web-based. Okay, anyway, let's dive back and let's go back to my company dashboard. By the way, at any point in time, if I want to get back to my home screen, I just click across here on the MYOB Advanced link or graphic. And it will take me to my home screen. So I can go in here, for example, and I can enter a sales order. So we'll just click on enter sales orders and it's now opening up that screen. So the beauty of this is that you can customize all of those dashboards with as many of those different links on there as you want in any way that you want. I'm going to give you an example of that in a second. But here's an example of a sales order. So I put in my sales order type. Is it a sales order? Is it a sales order with inventory allocation? So the inventory is allocated automatically to that sales order, so it can't be sold to somebody else. A whole bunch of flexibility that exists inside the MYOB Advanced application. So it's a sales order. Then I go across here and I pick my customer. So I do a lookup. Now, anywhere in MYOB Advanced you see one of these grid screens, you have total control over what information you see in the grid. So for example, if I scroll across here, you'll see this is just a lookup screen. I can see all of this information. All right, customer class, the status, the currency ID, the city, the addresses, and all that kind of thing. But I can go here, for example, I just click on this little, it looks like a filing cabinet, I guess. I click on that, and you know what I can do? Is I can go here, and I can select all of those items, and I can get rid of them. Okay, and I'll just hit save. So now, my lookup is just those two columns. All right, so what happens now when I go and do my customer lookup, I've got just those two columns. So it makes it very, very easy and very, very powerful. The way that you can customize the software so that it works the way that you want to work. And that's one of the things that we'll do at Leverage is we'll help identify what is the most effective way for you to utilize the software and what is going to be the quickest way for us to tailor the software so your people don't have to spend a whole lot of time getting to know a new way of working. Obviously, there are going to be new things for them to learn, but we can minimize that through tailoring the solution specifically to you. And you can see I'm not writing any code or anything like that. This is very, very easy stuff to do. Okay, you can even narrow it down. If you had 100,000 customers, for example, one of the things you can do with MYOB Advanced is you can say, you know what, I'm logged in as Richard and I have responsibility for a certain territory, say New South Wales. So what it'll do when I'm logged in and I do a lookup, it will only show me customers in the New South Wales territory. So the system's smart enough to do that. Now, let's say I share that territory with 3 other salespeople. Well, what I can do is I can set record level security in MYOB Advanced so that it will actually only show me the customers in New South Wales that I am the allocated sales rep for. All right? So you can get as sophisticated as you need or as simple as you want. And that's the great thing about MYOB Advanced. All right? And you do a lot of that by using these filters. All right, so you can go in here and here's my filter settings. And this is where you can put in, if this value equals this, then, and that value equals that, then only select these records. So I could say, if territory equals New South Wales and sales rep equals Richard, all right? And then I apply that filter, and that filter becomes my default. So I just click on the default option there, and I don't share it with anybody else. So it's just my filter. Now, once you know how to do a filter in one place inside MYOB Advanced, you know how to do it everywhere else. Okay? So, again, I'm showing you some of these aspects of the application. All that stuff that I just did, you don't need to do that to do a sales order. To do a sales order, it's really simple. You open up the screen, you put in the sales order type, you look up your customer. I'm going to sell it to the USA Bartending School. The system then will default in a whole bunch of information for you. And then I just go down here and I start putting in the inventory items. Okay, so I can go here to the inventory ID and I can do a lookup. And of course I can use a barcode reader or an RFID scanner or anything like that to pull this information in to MYOB Advanced, because those hardware devices are completely software independent, and MYOB Advanced will work with those even though it is a web browser based system, unlike how things were 6-7 years ago. If you were using any of those devices, you had to have special drivers, and those of you who went through that pain 5 to 8 years ago will know exactly what I'm talking about. You don't have to do any of that stuff anymore. So there's the product. How many do I want? Well, I want 1. It's just showing me how many are on shipments and everything like that. So all that information's there. So that's fine. I can now go and I can add my next product. Okay. and so on and so forth. So I continue to add my items. Now, one of the things that you can see is this is a product that actually has sub-items. So at any point in time, you can go in here and you can click on this inventory summary link. And what it will do is it will pop up a little screen for you and it'll show you all the information about that inventory item. So this is the thing about MYOB Advanced. Like I said before, it's as simple as you want, but it can be as complex as you need, because with the different editions of MYOB Advanced, you have these different areas of functionality unlocked for you. And what we'll do as part of our discussion with you is we'll help you understand which of these particular components you need, because that's what we do. We have what we call situational fluency. We understand what the product does, and then we understand business process as well, because all of our guys have got at least 10 years experience working with ERP software and working with companies just like yours. So we'll understand your business process, we understand our software, and we'll map the two together. So that's our job, that's our role, and that's what we do, the value that we add to the process. I guess that's part of the reason why we're called a value-added reseller. Is because when we resell you the software, we do add some value to the process. So there you have it. There's your sales order. You've got all this other information you can put in here as well, and you can, if you want to, you can move these fields around. So let's say, for example, I want the quantity after the warehouse. So all I do is I click and I drag that field across there. So now quantity is there after warehouse. Let's say, for example, I want to allocate it as a free item. I want to put that back over here after unit of measure. I just drag it and drop it. So I've just added a couple more items to that, so I can go in here and I can push that out to Microsoft Excel, because everywhere in the software you see that Excel icon, usually where there are these grids, it will create an Excel spreadsheet for me. So I hit save there, and then with one click, I go ahead and I open up my Excel spreadsheet. Now it's going to say, hey, be careful, you know, these files that come from the internet, because it knows it's come across from a website. It's saying, hey, do you want to enable the editing? And I'll say, yes, I do to that. All right, so there is all that data from that sales order automatically popped in here into Microsoft Excel for me. So that's great. Anywhere where I've got those grids, I can do that. So then when I'm finished, when I'm ready, I just basically hit my save button, and that is my sales order ready to now push across. Now, of course, this can trigger off actions. So what I can do is I am able to, for example, I can trigger an approval process. I can send a message to somebody letting them know that this sales order has come in. Or I can set up background processes that monitor the system and say, look, if the sales order is over a certain value, or if the profit margin is at a certain level, it'll send somebody a message letting them know that they need to do something or take some action with this sales order. But then when I'm ready to go to the next step, I can go in here and I can create the shipment, or I can email the sales order or quote. If I've got to create a purchase order, let's say I'm buying these products specifically to sell to a customer because I've got some special pricing happening, I can do that. I can place it on back order, all kinds of things that I can do there. Again, this is not training, just want to show you the level of flexibility that's in the system. So for example, I can say email sales order or quote, and you'll see what it's doing right now is it's generating the sales order document for me. And anytime it's working in the background, what you'll do is you'll see you've got this little button here that's telling you that a process is executing in the background. Now, if you run into a problem, and I expected this to happen because I wanted to show you this, if something goes wrong in the system, what it does, those little indicators will come up in red. If it happens works successfully, it'll come up in green. But it's just saying, hey, there are no active notification sources to process the operation. So it's saying, you know what, you can't configure to email this out to somebody because you haven't configured an email address for this particular customer. So you would have to go and do that first. But of course, the advantage to that is you can click simply here on this little pen icon, and that will open up, if you've got the rights, this customer, and you can then edit that customer. All right. So a lot of things that you can do there, and of course you can attach notes This is not rocket science. Pretty much every software package can do this. I just want to show you that we also have the same capability. You can attach those notes, but then what you can also do is you can attach files. So let's say, for example, the customer sent you a purchase order. So you can go in here to Files, and you can go out and you can browse out to where that file might be. Maybe they've sent you that purchase order, or maybe you want to attach a particular document to it. Well, you can go in here and you can find that document that you want. Okay, all my photos of my most recent trip to New Zealand. But just as an example, here, let's say is a PDF document. I can open that PDF document, I can upload it, and now you'll see that document is being uploaded. As soon as the upload's finished, you can see down the bottom there, 85%, now it's complete. It will then appear in here in the system. Now, at the risk of getting too complex, and I'm going to stop it because I do have a tendency to get carried away. And I guess it's because I'm the product evangelist, right? If you can't get excited about your own product, then there's something desperately wrong with you. But anyway, you can see inside MYOB Advanced, when you've got these documents, there's actual full document management in here. All right, so I can upload that document. Okay, so that's now done. And then I can close that down. It tells me here, hey, I've got one file. Now, I've got that file there. What I can do is I can click on Edit here, and it opens up a new screen. And you'll see here is all the document management. So even right down to maintaining different versions of these documents, it manages all of that for you. And there's a link there as well to where I can go and jump to this document, both externally and internally. All right, so very, very powerful, and I can check the documents in, check them out, and so on. All right, so why am I telling you that? It's just, again, an example of the power that's available inside MYOB Advanced, if you want it. Okay, again, the beauty of a system like MYOB Advanced is you can start with the basics. Okay, you can start with one of the entry-level editions of MYOB Advanced, and then move. Okay, so you can start with Plus, and then go to say the Enterprise Edition, or whatever the case may be, and you don't have to do any data conversion. It's just a matter of applying a new license and then configuring the additional functionality that you now have access to. All right, so very, very powerful. So again, that's another little bit of a look at the user interface there. Of course, reporting is a standard part of any system, because it's great that you can get the data in, but let's say we want to get the data out. Well, when you're working in MYOB Advanced, you've got this navigation panel across here. So this is where we enter our work. This is where we process transactions. So for example, let's say I've done 1,000 orders today. Now what do I want to do? I want to process those orders. So I can click here on Process Orders, and then I can select all the orders that I've worked on, and then I can generate picking slips, or I can, just go straight ahead and generate invoices from them, or whatever the case may be. So these are the processes that happen in bulk or en masse. Okay, so that's what this little function is. And when you're hovering over these buttons, all right, it's telling you what each one of these things does. Okay, and then of course I've got my reports. So I can go here into reports, and I've got all these different reports. So for example, I've got an order register, so I can get a list of all of my orders. Now, reporting's really, really flexible with MYOB Advanced, and you'll see I can create all these parameters for a report, and then I can save this as a template. And then I can run that template at any particular time. So a template is like a saved collection of these parameters that I've specified. Or I can just go in here and I can say, run my report. All right, and what it's going to do, it's then going to bring up all the documents that are applicable in that report. Now, the reports in MYOB Advanced, they also have the ability to drill down. So one click on that field allows me to then pop open a new screen and drill down, and there is that sales order that I put in. Okay, and you can see, you can recognize all that information. And then of course, when I'm looking at the sales order, I can click there on the inventory ID and drill down and look at the inventory item itself. Okay, so again, very, very flexible, very, very powerful. I can close that down and I'm back in my order register. All right, and then one click, I can go and print that out. I can email it to somebody as a PDF, or again, I can export it out as an Excel document. All right. Okay, so that's all very nice. The standard reports and literally hundreds and hundreds of standard audit trail style reports. Now, one of the things that's really great about MYOB Advanced is there's a function in here called generic inquiries. So what this enables you to do, it enables you to build your own queries into the system. So if I go here to system and I go to customization, in Best Television Chef format, I've got a generic inquiry that I've created earlier. So I go here to generic inquiries. So let's select our sales orders and quotes generic inquiry. So there it is, sales orders and quotes. Now you can see in here, I've got the tables and the relationships between those tables. And then I specify the fields that I want to see. So this is just like creating a standard query in a database. And then I can go here and I can say view the inquiry. And then that's what it looks like in the background. So that's the standard inquiry. All right, I've got my sales order type, the order number, the status, the customer name, the date, the currency, and the order total. So of course, I can now take that, again, one click, and I can push that out to Microsoft Excel. So again, it's now preparing that spreadsheet for me. There's quite a few orders in here. So there it is, sales orders and quotes. I'll hit the save button. And that's now done. And I can open up that document. And again, there's my Excel spreadsheet. Bang. All right, so now, see what it says here? I'm going to enable my editing, but now it's going to say, hey, there's an external data connection here. So this spreadsheet is automatically linked via web services into your data, but it's only a read-only link. You can't change information in the spreadsheet and push it back in, all right? So we're going to enable that content. So what that means is, let's say in the meantime, somebody's gone and entered in another 50 orders. All I do here with my spreadsheet, I could be on the other side of the world as long as I've got an internet connection. I just go data, refresh all. Now watch this date and time, okay? Right, so it's now 12th of October at 7:04 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time. You've got the ability to specify all those formats. So then it says, all right, you're going to connect into the back-end system. So who are you? Because it's going to check that the user that I put in here actually has access to look at this data. So again, this is my standard username and password that I use in MYOB Advanced. And I say, okay, that. Now watch this date and time. Make sure that you understand there's no smoke and mirrors here. Okay, so there you go. 1 minute later, it's refreshed. So all this information has now been updated. Okay, so it makes it very, very flexible and very, very powerful, and makes it very, very easy for people to, to basically work wherever they are. Now, remember I talked about empowering your employees. This is an example. We give them the ability to access all this kind of information, okay, no matter where they are, if they're working from home, if they're on the road, if they're in an interstate office or visiting a vendor overseas, you've got complete flexibility to be able to have access into your data. All right, so I'm going to close that down. Do I want to save those changes? Yes, I do. All right, so here's my sales orders and quotes generic inquiry. Now, here's the thing. I can take this, all right, and I can publish it onto my menu. So all I do is I go here back into my editing my generic inquiry, and remember, this isn't training. Again, I'm not going to expect you to remember all of this. We'll train you, and we have a series of training videos and walkthroughs that guide you through each one of these processes as well. But you'll see when I am editing this, you can see I can go here and I can say, for my sitemap location, I want it to be under audit. This over here, this menu across the top and the navigation bar on the side, because MYOB Advanced is a giant website, effectively, it's used what's called a sitemap. So we put it on the sitemap with the title sales orders and quotes, and then it says, okay, whereabouts on the sitemap do you want it to be? So we want it to go on to under distribution, under sales orders, in the audit area, okay? And that's exactly where we want it to be. Now, there it is, sales orders and quotes, because I already put it there before. But, so I go ahead and I do that, I hit save, and then if I go across here, I go to distribution, sales orders, down into my audit area, there it is, sales orders and quotes. So one click brings up those parameters and bang, there's my generic inquiry. So very, very flexible, again, very, very powerful. And then what I can do is I can take this and I can take this information and I can put it straight onto a dashboard as a table or as a chart. So let's say I wanted to take my sales orders and quotes and put it as a table. I just go in here and say I want to create a dashboard, sales orders and quotes. What information do I want to see on it? Well, I just want to see the order number. I want to see the status, the customer name, the date, and the order total. And then I'll hit OK. And that's now done. So that's now going onto a dashboard called sales orders. And so if I go here and let's just dive back to our main screen so you can see right back here with our dashboards. So here's my dashboard. If I now go to organization, I've got my company dashboard. Here's my sales dashboard. Okay. What I can do is I can now go into my design and I can copy that that dashboard that I've just created, that dashboard component, and I can put it onto this particular dashboard. All right. So under my dashboard templates on my sales dashboard, here's my sales dashboard template. So I can take my generic inquiry and I can go here to dashboard and I can add this as a table and I can put it on one of my target dashboards. So for example, I've got a dashboard that if I go in here and I'll look under my organization and I'll look at my dashboard templates, or I'll look at my company dashboards. I want to put this onto my sales dashboard. So I'll choose the sales dashboard there, and I want to see the order number, the status, the customer name, and the order total. That's all I want to see. So I say OK to that. And so now what will happen when I go back into the system and I am looking at my dashboards, if I go back here, I'll just close down that Norton toolbar there. If I go to my MYOB Advanced link, takes me back into my dashboards. Okay, here is my standard dashboard that I always work with. But now if I go to organization and I go to my company dashboards and I look at my sales dashboard, what will you see? There's my sales orders and quotes generic inquiry automatically added on there. And then all I have to do is just move things around a little bit to get it to fit exactly where I want. So let's say I want to pop that up onto here. So that's it. That's nice and simple. And then I can resize that and we're good to go. So I don't know about you, but I actually think that's pretty exciting. Now, I don't know if you can hear it in the background. Hopefully you can't. But one of my dogs, Bessie, she doesn't think it's particularly exciting at all. Matter of fact, she's lying on the floor snoring her head off. So hopefully you're not hearing that as I'm recording this. But yeah, I think it's exciting. She obviously doesn't think it's that exciting, but it really makes it easy for you to design a system that works exactly the way you want it to. You don't have to change your business processes to work with the software. All right. Although we'll make some recommendations, based on best practices that we've picked up by working with other companies in your industry. We might make some suggestions around different ways of doing things. One of the questions we always usually ask is when somebody tells us, well, we do it like this, this, and this. One of the questions we'll ask is, well, why do you do it that way? And it's not because, we're being clever or smart, but oftentimes we just want to understand, because a lot of the time people will say, well, that's just the way we've always done it. So that then gives us a lot of the time the opportunity to introduce that there's potentially a better way, or a faster way, or a more effective way of handling that. Right, so again, that's part of our process. I'm going to talk about that in our Empower methodology in a couple of seconds. So almost finished with our introductory demonstration. A couple of the other things that I wanted to quickly show you. I want to show you one other aspect of those generic inquiries, and I focus a little bit on this because it's great that you can get data into an ERP system, but really it's how easy is it to get data out? Well, when I'm working with those generic inquiries, okay, let's go back to our customization again. What I can do is, if I look at my generic inquiry, there's a new feature, there's a new standard for accessing data, and it's called OData or OData, depending on how you like to say it. And that stands for Open Data. What you can do is you can build your generic inquiry, and then you simply click this button that says Expose via OData. All right. What does that then do? Well, that then makes it very, very easy for you to start working with your data inside MYOB Advanced from tools like Microsoft Excel. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you an example of how that works. In this case, I'm not pushing the data out to Excel from MYOB Advanced. I'm going to open up Excel, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the data in to Excel. All right, so here's my empty worksheet. So all I do here is I say data, and then I say get data from other sources. And then I go down here and you'll see there's an option that says from OData data feed. So one click there. It asks me, where is that data coming from? So I'll just go back to my web browser, and where is the data coming from? Well, it's coming from here. All right, so all I need to do is just grab that part of the link. So I'll say copy, go back into Excel, paste that in there. All right, and then I just add OData to the end of that. Now it's going to say, all right, when you go and connect to that link, what's your username and password? Again, all this is being done securely. So there's no backdoors, there's no way of hacking in, either knowingly or by accident into the system. You have to have a password. And again, you'll see that link, HTTPS. So it's all being encrypted for you. So rduffy, and then I'll put in my password. And then I'll say next. So what's it now doing? It's now linking directly over the internet from Excel using OData. It's going in and it's saying, okay, give me a list of all the generic inquiries that are available that have got that little tick box on them. And you'll see there's quite a lot there that I've exposed out. But there it is. There's my sales orders and quotes. I click on that, and then I'll say next. It allows me to put some descriptive information about what this link is if other people are going to use the spreadsheet. Or I can just say finish, and then it says, what do you want to do with the data? Well, I want to put it into a table. So I say okay. And then again, you can see down the bottom, it says it's retrieving data. Press escape to cancel. Now, I can be on the other side of the world. In fact, I actually am on the other side of the world. Right now, I am still in the United States, and I'm recording this from my home office here in the United States. This server is actually over in Sydney. So my computer's here in Seattle in Washington. The server is over in a data center in Sydney. And you can see how quickly the system's responding. So again, you can be anywhere in the world accessing your application. So that's great. So now I've got my data in a table. Well, that's all very interesting, but let's say I want to start charting it. Well, I can go in here to data. and I can say existing connections. There's the connection I just created, so I'll say open. And now it says, well, what do you want to do? Well, I'll say, well, I actually want it on a pivot chart. And I want to put that into a new worksheet, and I'll say okay. So now it creates my pivot chart. So here's my pivot chart. Let's pop that up here. And now I can start using all the graphing and charting functionality inside Microsoft Excel with a live link into the backend system. So I want to look at my order totals. All right, so there it is. There's my order total, $281,007.90. All right, but I want to see that now by customer name. So again, click. So there's my order total by customer name. But I can go across here and I can filter this. Okay, and I can say I want to sort them from A to Z, or I can go in here and I could say, you know what, I only want to see, you know, the top 5. So in order to do that, probably what I want to do is look at my order total, and it'll know that's a number. So I've got my value filters, so I can say show me the top 10. All right, top 10 items based on the sum of order total. So I'll say okay. And then I can continue filtering that down further and further until I've got it exactly the way I want. So of course, now I'm just working with standard functionality in Microsoft Excel. I can even start to add additional filters. So I can click on the status, for example. I can drag that down here and make that a filter that then appears on my pivot chart. So I can say, show me only those orders that are on hold. Okay, so I'll say okay. And then it's now just showing me the values of the on hold orders, or show me the orders that I'll say select multiple items that are either open or back ordered. And I'll say okay. So now I've got my orders that are open or back ordered. So very, very powerful functionality. Now, the risk of sounding like a late night television salesperson, but wait, there's more. You can do a heck of a lot more with this because Microsoft have just released a new tool called Power BI. So I can take this file now and I can go ahead and I can save it. All right, and I can save it out to the cloud. I can save it out to OneDrive. So I'm going to save it out on OneDrive. I'm going to save it on my Power BI work area. Okay, so I select Power BI work. All right, and then I'll put it in here. So I'll just say this is my, I'll call this book my MYOB Advanced. MYOB Advanced. So now, important to remember, the link to the data is held inside the Excel spreadsheet. It's still a live link, So I'm going to hit save on that. So that's now there. So I'm going to open up my document. And I'm going to go in now to Power BI. So I'm going to open up Microsoft Edge and I'll go to www.powerbi.com. All right. And I am now going to sign in to Power BI, which is a completely web-based business intelligence tool. So I hit sign in and I'm going to log in with my username and password. Okay. So I've got Richard at richardduffy.com. because I've got my own special account for doing demonstrations. Of course, we use all this functionality ourselves at Leverage, but I'm not going to go into our production system. I just use my demo account. Again, I'll put in my password. And I'm now in my Power BI system. So what do? This is an example one that's just a standard setup. Oh, and by the way, you can access Power BI completely free of charge. So there's a free version and there's a version which is around $9 or $10 per user per month. But again, I would encourage you to go and try it with the free version. So I go in here and I'll say, you know what? I want to get some data. So I go down here to get data. And I want to import or connect to data. So I'll say files, get, and it says, okay, is it coming from a local file or OneDrive? So now I can say OneDrive, and we'll give this a couple of seconds. It automatically links to my OneDrive, and you'll see in my documents, all things being equal, and it's loading up all these documents for me now. And again, this is all happening securely over the cloud. And I'll scroll down to my to my Power BI work folder. And there it is. There is my MYOB demo spreadsheet. And so we will select that and then say connect. And you'll see what basically is now happening is that Power BI is now connecting to that spreadsheet, and it is linking to the data, and then it's automatically going to try and read its way through that data and try and interpret it. So now I can select that MYOB demo, and now I'm able to start building a visualization. So there's all the fields that are in the data. So I can say, all right, I've got my order total. So I select that, and there you see now inside my web browser, I'm now able to start doing all of these different visualizations of the data. So I want to see orders by, again, let's look at it by customer name. So there it is, orders by customer name. But let's say I want to look at that as a funnel. If I want to, I can start doing some sorting. So I can sort by this, sort by order total. And there you can see it's now actually showing me sorted by order total in descending order. Or you know what, I can say I want to see it as a pie chart. Now this isn't intended to be a tutorial on Power BI. There's lots of those on powerbi.com. But you can build a whole range of these visualizations. So, you know, there's my sales orders by customer. But then I can go in here, I can say, let's look at my sales orders now by status. All right, so, and I'll just drag that back up here. Sales orders by status, back ordered, cancel, completed. Then I'm going to sort that by order total. So I get to see what have I got the most of. So good to see. The majority of my orders are completed. I still have a lot open. I've got a lot less that are shipped and cancelled and invoiced and so on and so forth. But then of course I can start changing the visualizations behind that. I might say I want to look at that as a bar graph, but put it on its side. I might then say, you know what, I actually want to start doing other things with it. Let's say I want to look at that by currency. So I'll add my currency field as well. So now it's breaking that down based on the currency. So now I'm looking at order total by status and currency. So again, you can build some really, really nice visualizations. Now, pretty much everything that I've just shown you there with Power BI, you can do in the free version. All right, it's only when you want to start getting into doing automatic refreshing and setting more detailed levels of security and things like that that you need to look at the paid version of Power BI. But I'm going to take you through some of those things in another one of my demonstrations. Okay, so with that, let's dive back to where we started in our generic inquiry in MYOB Advanced, and that's pretty much where I'm going to wrap up the demonstration. And we'll get back into our presentation. So hopefully that demonstration was of value.
Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to learn new smart ways to grow your business. You can also check out our blog and follow us on Twitter to learn more and stay up to date. Thanks for watching and see you next time.